One guest that's always home and away. First of all, Craig Charles, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing fine, how are you?
Nice to see you.
Good to see you, sir.
Can we see a little bit of you in action, please?
Yeah, go on.
OK, let's take a look at this. Red Dwarf.
Mister, I have an exam tomorrow which I intend to pass.
I know, yeah, by cheating.
This is not cheating. It's merely an aid to memory. Helps me marshal the facts already in my command.
What does copying the entire textbooks onto your body? Why don't you hand your body in and let them mark that?
Mister, do you think it's easy for someone like me to become an officer? Someone who wasn't academy educated? Someone who didn't have the right knobby background? Someone who didn't have the right parents?
You didn't have the right parents. Whose parents did you have?
My parents, the wrong parents.
I'm just saying, you know, if you can't pass fair and square, why bother?
I'm sure a lot of people will be able to relate to that at the moment. Craig Charles. Craig Charles, everybody!
Whoa!
So why is it so popular? I mean, 10 years of Red Dwarf and it's still kicking.
I'm about to make another one. I don't know. I think it's because it's funny.
Yeah.
You know, and it's although space and science fiction is the sort of is the subject matter. It doesn't rely on science fiction to be funny. It's about the four characters. It's like Porridge in space or The Odd Couple in Space or something like that.
Yeah, because it had a rough ride to start with, didn't like Dad's Army and all the good sitcoms.
Oh, yeah,
it wasn't an instant hit.
It was slagged down for the first two series. They really rifled it, you know. In fact, they say if the second series hadn't been commissioned before the first series went out, they would never have made the second series, so we were quite lucky there, really.
Oh, my goodness me.
Yeah.
And are you like your character at all?
Well, well, I suppose he's all my worst bits, you know. I mean, I can be a bit grotty and a bit sort of, you know, sort of unwashed when I want to be. But I think we're all caricatures of ourselves. I mean, Chris is very sort of Rimmer-esque in ways.
Chris Barry.
Yeah, although he won't thank me for saying it. Danny is the cat. I mean, Danny bought this house and we thought, oh, wow, because he lived with his mum, Danny. And he thought, oh, we bought this house. We thought, oh, wow, he's going to move into this house. Going to be a big housewarming party. The house was just for his clothes. It's just a walk-in wardrobe. He's got more clothes than any person I know.
God, and he really is like that, and he slithers around the place.
And Robert, who plays Crichton, is just a sort of guilt-ridden, middle-class fella. And he's just very like Crichton, you know, so we're all sort of very much like we are on the telly.
So where's it going? Where's it going?
Hopefully back to Earth at one stage. We film in August, we film Red Dwarf 8, and then we do Red Dwarf the movie, Red Dwarf the motion picture. So, but hopefully we'll get back to Earth in this 8th series, you know, because there's so much we can do on Earth as well. You know, it doesn't always have to be in space, Red Dwarf.
I didn't realise they were making a movie. That's a bit flash.
Yeah, we're making a movie. Well, it's been in the pipeline for ages, but there's been lots of niggles and things like that. But all the finance is in place now. So we make the movie after we film Red Dwarf 8.
So is there a script for the movie already?
It's being worked on at the moment, I'm assured. But I'm assured that I've got none of the funny lines.
No.
And they're all given to Crichton the cat and Rimmer, and I just sit there like that.
But you being a writer, do you ever have any input into the scripts?
Well, we all sort of sit down and sort of, you know, sort of throw in ideas and all that. But the scripts are so tight anyway. They're written by sort of Rob Grant and Doug Naylor, and they're so tight anyway that there's very little room for manoeuvre. But yeah, we all get lots of ideas going there. Yeah.
They're funny geezers, are they?
They are very funny men. Very, very funny men. Very funny. Oh, I'm just in my pants. Very funny.
This is and let's talk about your poetry because you're such a good poet.
I've got a poetry book at the moment called No Other Blue on Penguin, and that's like a collection of the last 10 years' poems. I'll tell you a poem, and don't take this personally.
No.
I want to feel your bum, but I know you'll slap me hand. And every time I see you smile, it makes me alter ego stand. I want to kiss your lips, but I'm scared about my breath. I want to hold your hand, but I'm half frightened to death. I want to drop formalities and let my fingers roam, but mum's banging on the ceiling telling me to take you home. I want to take you to the pictures, but your study's in the way, and leaving can be grieving when you always want to stay. I want to marry you this instant and let my feelings delve. But that's will have to wait because I'm only 12.
Fantastic. And this is how you started.
That's the first poem I wrote. That won me a poetry award when I was 12. And
Fantastic.
That's how it all started. Really.
And that's how you got into show business.
Yeah.
Well, let's meet someone else in show business. From Home and Away, please welcome Richard Grieve. Nice to meet you. Please take a seat. Please take a seat. Great, Richard Craig.
Excellent. Thanks very much, mate.
Are you a poet at all, Richard?
It's like I've gone handsome in stereo here. I mean, there's two handsome fellas me in the middle. It's not fair.
Well, I normally have it with Tim, you see.
Yeah.
Everyone looks at Tim. You know. They go to the Blue Peter Dog before they look at me. But Richard, you're now in Home and Away.
Yeah.
How did you start? Because Craig started as a poet.
I certainly didn't start writing poetry. I couldn't write a poem if I was paid. Anyway, audition after audition. I went to drama school as soon as I finished high school for about 3 years, and then I just sort of worked in restaurants and cafes and made coffee and eventually...
3 of the coolest Australian soaps. E Street, straight into Neighbours. Oh, I've got to ask you, what is the best, Neighbours or Home and Away, to work on? Where did you have the most fun?
They're both, I mean, they were both as fun as each other,
Yeah.
you know? I mean, just sort of obviously different shows and different people and stuff like that. But I guess I have to say, I mean, when you call at 6 o'clock in the morning and you're, you're sort of still half asleep, it's pretty nice to turn up to the beach, you know, and just watch the sunrise. Yes, I mean, I did enjoy that.
But you don't have Harold and Madge to entertain you.
I never had Harold and Madge.
You missed them, didn't you?
I did
3
miss
years
them.
you were
I
in.
sadly missed out on the Harold and Madge scenario.
Are you a Neighbours fan, a Home and Away fan?
No, what are you talking about? That's all going over my head. I must admit, I've never ever watched Home and Away or Neighbours.
Have you been to Australia?
You're missing out. You're missing out big time.
I must go, because I meet loads of people who've been on the show, you know. I've never actually... I think I'll go and watch it.
Because you'll probably end up in panto with somebody from Neighbours and Home and Away. You all do panto. What about Red Dwarf in Australia? That hasn't quite hit over in Australia yet, has it?
It's quite...
Is it?
Quite well.
See, there you go.
It goes prime time in Australia now, yeah.
Does it?
Yeah, I've sort of been invited to go over to Australia, New Zealand, and Canada and America. I go to America on Wednesday.
But see, that's my payback. I never watch it.
See, I asked Richard. I did a bit of homework. But in Australia, is there a lot of science? I mean, science fiction is the new rock and roll here, it seems, at the moment. Everyone's into it.
Really?
With the X-Files and everything. Is it as big over there?
I think it's big within sort of circles of people that are really fanatical about that. I mean, maybe it's more across the board here, but in Australia, no, I don't think so. I mean, it's more... Yeah, we've got a couple of sci-fi... No, we don't have our own sci-fi shows or anything like that. It's really stuff like from America, you know.
If you look at science fiction as a genre, I mean, it's the biggest grossing genre in the world.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
from like Terminators 1 and 2, from the Star Wars trilogy, even through to Jurassic Park and Lost World, The Fifth Element, all the big blockbuster movies these days seem to be science fiction.
But it's generally coming from either America or the UK, really, isn't
And
it?
Star Trek takes up all my week. I mean, I watch that every night.
So I used to work in a video store and
5 hours out of my week is spent watching...
Yeah, I couldn't believe it, because I used to work in a video shop and people used to come in and just get, like, 50 films out, you know, and they just borrow them for the week.
I hosted the Star Trek weekend on Sky a couple of weeks back. And we had
I
the whole
saw that in the
weekend
notes.
of sort of science fiction Star Trek stuff. It was cracker.
What else did you do? Did you go behind the scenes and all that sort of thing?
No, but I got to meet William Shatner when I was filming Space Cadets.
He's quite a character, isn't he?
He is.
William
He's
Shatner.
66 and he's full of beans, I tell you. Hey, in-joke, crew laugh. But I sometimes think I'm going to end up like him doing Red Dwarf.
No!
You know, but, you know, a two
Release a terrible record.
Boldly going in my pants.
And doing these Red Dwarf conventions, you know, in your
But I
latter
got
years.
to kiss William Shatner. I said to him, like, you know, there's something I've always wanted to ask. And he goes, what? I said, gives a kiss. And he gave me a big stomp on telly. So, hey.
Oh, my gosh. Well, it could have been Uhura. I'm a big fan of Uhura, by the way.
What? Sorry? What? Sorry?
Taxi cab. Captain
Sharon, price check. Sorry.
Oh, I love... I mean, there's so many in-jokes on Star Trek and on Red Dwarf, and, you know, it's going to go from strength to strength. And Home and Away, of course. Thank you so much for coming on, guys. This week's Jarvis. Can we have a big round of applause, please, for Richard Grieve and Craig Charles?